the one thing I asked him to make us is harder to break down. Conceding from corners is annoying, but look, Arsenal's corners, I say it in a positive way, they're fucking ridiculous.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
Bit, right? This is the bit I want to get on because I only watched the last 20 minutes. It clashed during our game. But rival fans that are getting onto Arsenal for scoring corners, it's mad to me. Because if you're excelling at something and it's turning into a winning formula, why the hell aren't you going to use it? And do you know where I think it comes from? A bit of jealousy. Because if we all had a set piece coach like Arsenal, are we just going to say, you know what, don't use your tactics here. You're so good at scoring corners, but we're not going to use you. We're not. We would all do the same thing.
Do you know what's crazy? Sorry to interject again, just to add on that, right? When you watch those corners again, yes, where they position themselves and the runs they make are hard. That isn't the beauty of the set pieces. And I know their set piece coach gets a lot of credit. If you watch the way the ball floats, curves, and the speed it travels from both Rice and Saka on the ones that nearly go in and the ones that go in, those crosses are out of this world. They're almost impossible for goalkeepers to get. There's so much pace on them that you don't even need full contact. It just needs a flick. And that's why you'll see like an Arsenal player wrestling with a United player. Now, you know, as a defender, you've got to try and get a full head as hard as you can in a certain direction to clear it. An attacker just needs to get something legal on the ball and it might go into the back of the net. So they don't even need to be properly set. They fight in the right way. They're also flaunting the rule that got put against them last year when Joe Linton pushed Gabriel in the back, where they know what they can and can't get away with now. I don't criticize it. I've seen people in the last few years talk about, assists from free kicks shouldn't really be assists. Well, not if the fucking cross is brilliant. Did you see Declan Rice's cross for the opening goal? The way that ball whipped in. It's a mental to not praise that as a skill.
I said yesterday,
you have to have the players to be able to do it as well. Declan Rice and Saka need a lot of credit because everyone, if it was so easy, we would all be doing it. The fact Arsenal have the personnel to do it, you can't really shun it. Yes, as rivals, we're going to clown them. You want to see things done in a more aesthetic way, should we say. But I think it's jealousy because if we all had this coach, we would all be doing the same thing. It's as simple as that.
I said yesterday in the group chat, I said that people are like, how? And I said, simple, world-class delivery. And that's what it is, consistent, world-class delivery. First of all, when we get told, Stoke FC, well, no, not really, because to get that many corners, you need to attack. And the reason is we attack a lot, we get a lot of low blocks, get a lot of corners, and now we can score from these corners. The fact is, a lot of people were gutted yesterday because everyone likes to go, Gabriel this, Gabriel weren't there. And they're still going in, which tells you it's the delivery rather than the personnel in the box.
And it's become a thing when obviously yesterday was the first time this season it's been against my club, but you can see the corner. I don't know how Chelsea fans and Liverpool fans felt, and Spurs have all played them now. When I conceded corners last night, my gut dropped. Fuck's sake, because you know how good they are. You know how good they are, and I just the criticism of it. It's as bad as people trying to say that Bruno Fernandes and Cole Palmer's penalty goals are not real goals. I find it the most ludicrous type of punditry I've ever heard in my life. Do you know what worries me? I used to take this stuff as banter, right? Sorry. I used to take this stuff as banter. The problem is we've all seen the mainstream copying what fan channels do. Watch-alongs are now being done by the overlap. No disrespect, but they're copying everything we do. Even their punditry is bordering on sort of fan-level content because they realize it's more engaging, so they're trying to copy and do the same thing. I don't like the idea of set pieces being attacked and slagged off because they've been part of football forever. They have never, until Bruno Fernandes started scoring penalties and until Arsenal started scoring from corners, I have never seen set piece goals or penalties looked at as problematic or wrong in 100. I've not been alive the whole time, but not in 140 years until now has it suddenly been spoken about as a problem. And I just want to push back against the narrative because I don't ever want it to become the consensus because I think it's damaging to football punditry, fan analysis. It's ridiculous.
Terry, what you said as well, sorry, Tel, about the thing of when we get a corner, you start worrying. I think that is a bit of a factor as well into why we're getting scoring so many as well. Because not only you, but the players, it's got to be like when we when we get a corner now, all their players maybe are overthinking, oh God, Arsenal always score corners. Oh, where's Gabriel? Oh, we got to stop him. And our players have got their opposite effect. We can score these. The delivery is going to be quality.
It's exactly
I just want to add one thing to what Giuseppe said.
Go on,
when we played Tottenham and we scored the winning goal against Tottenham, their fans were recording themselves before the goal, not looking at the corner, because they were so scared they were going to concede from the corner. They weren't even looking. They turned around like it was a penalty.
It reminds me.
Our corners, Eric, I said it numerous times, Terry. Mo Salah is on Liverpool. Haaland is on thing. We have corners. That is our equalizer.
Yeah. No, I hear you, but look, it reminds me of what used to happen in a lot of United games under Sir Alex when time added on got added. If we were losing or drawing, you would. I was at hundreds of those games, watched the rest of them on TV, and there was always this noise from rival fans first that was, oh, and you heard the Man United fans in that era of our team. It was like an injection of adrenaline, and the noise went up because this is our time to score. It's ridiculous because both teams could have scored in that fucking period, but it was a psychological edge. It was called Fergie time. This is when Man United score, and we invariably got the chances or won games or save matches in those moments. And Arsenal have done that when it comes to corners. It's become psychological.
Terry,
it's also another thing that rattles people because they feel like we're dependent on it. It's not that we're dependent on it. We just have another element to our game that other people are not utilizing to the best of their ability.
No, Terry, do you not remember in our title winning season and when we won the Champions League as well? If it was that 1-1 with that 10 or 5 minutes to go, the other team kind of just succumb to the pressure that, you know what, Liverpool are going to go on and win. The amount of last-minute winners we got in our title winning season, I think if you've got something you can use to your advantage and it literally just takes the stuffing out of the other team, you're going to use it at the end of the day. You're going to.
No, do you think it comes down to the team that it is, though? Because players lower down the league will be absolutely praised for it. Like James Ward-Prowse has made a career off of being unbelievable at set-piece delivery, right? Yeah. So it's because we haven't got stick against Southampton and West Ham are irrelevant 9 seasons out of 10. So I just wonder if it's to do with where the squad sort of lie. Like Stoke back in the day were actually praised for it, whereas Arteta, probably because of the money that he spent and people are sort of saying, like Agal stated, they could be dependent on it in a game like last night. Ultimately, it was a really useful tool, and you were dependent on it to get the result.
Do you know what I would say though? Right?
You want to be able to depend on your tools.
We watched the Chelsea game together, Dan, didn't we? And it was interesting watching it together. None of us were sitting there on Twitter watching what other people were saying. We thought it was quite a good competitive game, and then the calls on the show started. Everybody was fuming and angry, and we were looking at each other thinking, "That ain't how we felt about it." But I've noticed with a lot of the top 6 clashes this year. Maybe not the one involved the recent couple with City because of City's really bad form, and not the early ones with Man United and Ten Hag because we were awful. But there's been loads of cagey affairs again. And I feel like as the leveling out between the top 6 teams, the traditional top 6 teams, I'm not trying to offend anybody that's currently sitting in the top 6, Forest and Brighton fans, as the levels and the quality starts to come a little bit closer together again, you're going to get more cagey games. Arsenal versus Liverpool became cagey. Chelsea versus Arsenal started cagey, open up a bit, become cagey again. In those types of matches, set pieces can be the difference maker. When you if you get to a point, and we haven't seen this because Liverpool and City have been so much better than everybody else in the last.
There's a game that epitomizes what you're saying quickly. You would remember it. All the United fans remember it. Do you remember a game at Anfield? I think you were wearing black, and O'Shea or Tevez scores a last minute from a set piece.
O'Shea scored the winner. I think the season later, Tevez scored. I think it happened twice.
Yeah, I think both were late and both were from set pieces. You're spot on. Set pieces can be the difference between you winning a title or in a 6-point.
We beat you. Rio Ferdinand last minute header from a set piece.
Exactly.
Man United won our first league title in 27 years. Steve Bruce with a header.
So you guys are talking about like
why is a Man United fan? If you're a Man United fan, if you're a United fan, you love the club. You cannot be against set piece goals.
Even your Champions League final against Bayern.
The same with Drogba against Bayern.
We had 20%.
Ivanovic, Benfica, Europa League.
20% of the ball.
Same with Van Dijk and the Carabao.
Yeah, this is what I don't get though. What do rivals want us to do? Get corners and
we're
going to not put a good ball in.
Giuseppe, let me be honest with you. The reason why you guys don't get away with it is because you're just Arsenal fans. And I mean this is like you're the nicest way possible. Every time you lot do something, it goes from being Like, if you just went, we're really good at set pieces, enjoy it, have fun. But you guys go like, we're the greatest set piece team that's ever.
No. David, a Premier League club owner complained to the Premier League about our.
You see what I mean? Like, why do you just like?
No, you're joking.
A Premier League club owner went to the Premier League and said, "What they're doing for set pieces is illegal. We need to change the rules."
That's
David. I hear that in the sense of like fans and that, but like to what Terry alluded to, when you see what like Roy Keane and Gary Neville was saying,
that was just head loss. That's head loss.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm like, bro, like these men are even doing it. Everyone's so rattled, but you know what?
Listen, I've said it before. I say it again. People hate Arsenal. And I don't like, people think I love Arsenal. I don't. I just committed to doing a job. Whether people like me calling this a job or not, it's the reality where I'm going to be as neutral and unbiased as I can be. And when you scored those corners yesterday, if I was doing a watch along, you'd have seen me gone, for fuck's sake, you did, swearing I was annoyed. But when I do my work, I'm going to be honest and open. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem for a lot of people is they cannot, rightly or wrongly, I'm not getting into the debate. They cannot stop their tribalism, their hatred, their frustration, their anger, their fear, whatever you want to call it, towards Arsenal. They can't separate it. It's like dropping, something into water and oil into water. You can't, once it's in, it's done. You can't take it out again. It's mixed together. It's messed up. You probably can take oil out of water if you're really smart. But anyway, a person like me can't. The egg is cracked, right? You can't get the egg yolk back inside the fucking shell again. It is done. And they can't separate it. The problem is that when people are angry, when they're full of fear and anger, they don't realize what they're saying. And the problem is with a lot of this punditry, and this is why I'm trying to do my best at this, is the amount of times you end up undoing your own legends or your own results or your own games by saying, oh, imagine a Man United fan saying, imagine Arsenal win the Champions League this year on penalties. Oh, imagine winning it on penalties, mate. Shit. Oh, fuck, I forgot we beat Chelsea on penalties. Like, that's the kind of way it got, and it's stupid, and it just frustrates the living daylights out of me. Aside from that,